team leader for Team Todd Hops. Our project this semester has been to design an Android app, and you'll see all about that app here in a few seconds. A couple of my teammates are here. Andrew DuBois, Nate Danos. Our other team members couldn't make it due to work or other courses that have taken time. So, what is Todd Hops going to be about? Well, basically our idea was to take a look at the microbrewing industry and figure out a way to bring the microbreweries that are out there to you in an easy to kind of access sort of way. So you won't have to look them up or find them on your own. It'll be sort of a way of just really easily locating any kind of microbrewery you're interested in checking out. Why? Well, it's a huge market and it's a growing market, so we thought an app devoted to this might be an interesting tool. People might want to look at it. It might be marketable to the breweries themselves and other ways to make some kind of money on an app like this. So we thought it'd be kind of an interesting way to go. There are a lot of other brewery type apps out there, a lot of different beer apps. A lot of them have to do with ratings and sort of things. A lot of them are basically user built databases as well, where ours is a little bit different. We're trying to create a situation where if you don't know a lot about beer, or maybe you don't know anything about beer, but you're interested in trying something new, we're going to try to build a little educational piece into it, teach you about the styles of beers and things like that. If you already know a lot about beer or are really into it, this is going to open up maybe places that you've never known about or haven't heard of before. So that's kind of our angle on it. How are we doing it? We created a small guide in here, some of the things I'm going to demonstrate to you. Created a way to search for breweries around the area, and we're using GPS to kind of locate the nearest breweries to your current location. So if you happen to be standing right here and you click on that button on our app, it's going to bring back a list of breweries in order of distance from your position at the time. So basically, some of this functionality hasn't been implemented completely yet. We will want to create a web interface to give breweries the ability to push content out as well. So you can maybe become a follower of a brewery or something like that, and then they would be able to give you information about what they're doing right now. Maybe they have a seasonal beer they're going to release or something like that that you're interested in. So that would be kind of our ultimate goal to get to that point. We're at this point right now. We can create users. We have a pretty decent sized database started. That's kind of a disadvantage of our app compared to others, whereas some other apps are allowing the users to populate their databases. We're kind of stuck with populating our own database right now to get the accuracy, get all the position information and all that kind of stuff into the database accurately. We've also got the beer search and brewery search functionality completed, so you can look them up by text if you already know the location you want to see. And we've also got the locator piece done right now. And we're still kind of working on our comments, but we have a comments piece in there as well, so you can go in and make comments about a place you visited or a beer you've tried. Where do we want to go? Well, clearly, none of us were Android developers before the semester started, and we're probably not really Android developers right now. We're still working on that. So having started from scratch with literally no knowledge of how any of this stuff worked, I think we've done a pretty good job of getting there, but we want to go a little further if we can with this app. So if there aren't any questions right now about the app, I'll do a quick demo on my emulator and give you an idea of what this thing looks like at the moment and how it runs. This is still running. I'll log in real quick for you. You log into the app and you're going to get the opportunity here to just search for a place, search for beers, beer glossary, which is kind of the educational part. You can just kind of look at different styles of beers. We could expand on this pretty easily and give you a better idea about other facets of different kinds of beers. Our locate breweries piece is kind of probably the most intricate part of ours. This, right now, the emulator isn't actually using GPS coordinates, so this is just in order of what it thinks the coordinates are at the moment. But if you had this running on your device with GPS enabled, it would bring back a list of breweries. You can click on a brewery and pick it out, and this is our brewery profile page, be able to go in and make comments about the brewery itself. Again, if I was running this on an actual device, I could bring up Google Maps on here and show you where the brewery is located on a map. We're going to try to use that to get directions to that location as well for you. We can also look at the beers that this brewery makes here, and so bring up a list that that brewery actually produces. And the beer search piece here will bring back a description of each of these beers. This part here will bring back what we call the beer profile. And right now we haven't populated it too much. We've given it sort of the same functionality that we've given the breweries, where you can make comments and share your comments on the beer. And again, go find the brewery or view comments that others have made on this. Right now there's not a lot of comments in the database. So this one probably doesn't have any comments that are made on it at the moment. But if you want to make a comment on it, you can say, misspell stuff there. Let's put that comment. And that goes and puts it into our database. And it brings it back to let you know you've made a comment. And if there were other comments on that beer, you'd also see those comments as well. That at the moment is about the gist of our app. Like I say, we're still exploring with some of the things about how Android works and how it uses data. Our back end is a Parse database, so it's like an online service that you can use. It's a NoSQL database. So there's ways to create it so that the users can upload just about anything you want into it and have it be displayed. This also has the capability of being interfaced with Facebook or other types of services like that. So there's a lot of things we could do, but at the moment that's about where we are. So any questions about it?
Podcasters are next.
How did it make it work? Really?
Yeah.
Press that over here.
Well, it was, yeah, you have to push the laptop button.
I'm building anticipation.
Hey, there. Cool. Okay. We are the Podquesters. My name is James. This is DJ and Alyssa. Basically, from the beginning, we wanted to make an app that would benefit students. So we made it. We wanted to connect students in a class, set up study groups. Students would be able to enter availability, and the app would coordinate study times for them. And it would offer all other helpful features. So benefiting students. As college students ourselves, we wanted to design something that others could use to assist them with their schoolwork. Think of ideas that the app would be easy, because we just looked at what we'd like to see in an app ourselves. Connecting students, we wanted to break down the awkward barrier that surrounded many students. The app would offer an easy way to connect with other students, even if they didn't know each other. So if you entered a class, you didn't know anybody. As a transfer student, I didn't know any people. So this app would really help me out. Study groups is the main aspect of the app. It allows users within the class to create a study group, or allow the app to set up one for them. The app would need to group together people, creating groups when it found 3 or more students. Availability is another huge part of the app as well. Users need to be able to enter times they're available. The app would need to look at this availability and create groups based on it. Availability interface would need to be easy and fast. This is something we spent a long time on, We had a lot of different input from our classmates about what is most convenient, what's kind of most visually pleasing. So we've thrown around a lot of ideas with availability. Some other features that we definitely talked about, because we had a lot of features that we really wanted to add, but we didn't think we'd be able to compress into a semester. So like something like a message board, map of campus, possibly dynamic, maybe like entering where your class was and it would direct you to there. Required textbooks, Facebook integration, and integration with Google Calendar. So from here, Forge is created. That is the name of the app. What we've got right now, we've got a login screen, availability screen, class selection screen, forging of groups, and easy use interface. From the beginning also, we wanted to make an app where you use the name almost as a verb, so you Google it. So the name is Forge, so you forge a group. Our target audience would be college students who want to connect with other classmates and study your classes as a group. Some plans for the future we're thinking about is a major connection with other universities, such as an enrollment assistant utility. I know everyone was registering for classes recently. Major internship tool, FAQ for classes, and integration with school accounts. We're thinking for the FAQ, something that a teacher could have access to, maybe like the top 10 questions students are asking, and it would be easy to access for students. And that is what we got so far. So we've got two separate clients. We've got a web client and Android client. Today we're just presenting the web client. As you can see, it's been sitting here for quite a while just doing that. So I guess the emulator is not really working for me right now. So we're just going to go ahead and present the web client. And I'll have Alyssa go and take over. Thank you.
Alright guys, I lost my voice on the best day ever, giving a presentation, so bear with me. So this is the login screen, so you just log in, and then if you wanted to make a new user, you can go over that. So you just put your username, email, it's a little bit too smart for me, so. Okay. We can just go back to the website and I'll just log in. But I just wanted you guys to see how you would make a new login. So this is what it brings you up to, and when you don't have like your class schedule or anything. So we can go over set availability first. So this is how you would set your availability. So we have the days of the week and then time separated by hours. So if you hover over any of the times, you can just go ahead and click on them and you can set it to available or unavailable, depending on what you are at a given time. To set classes, go ahead and select a course. So let's see. And then you would select your section and then go ahead and add your course. So now it takes you to what your classes are and the upcoming study groups that you have. So based on the classes that you sign up with and the availability that you set, it will automatically bring up students who have compatible availability that are in the same classes as you, and it will suggest times that you can meet with them. So this is a great way to get to know students in your classes that you might not already be in contact with, and set up study groups, because I know that for setting up study groups, it's really hard to say like, okay, well I can meet on Monday, but I get out at 6, and then this person doesn't start till 6:30, and then it's really complicated. So this is a great way so that you can see everyone's availability laid out right there in front of you, and then you can just click, oh, I want to meet with James, or I can meet it with DJ at this time. So that's what we are looking for in that.
So what we're also thinking about is not just necessarily using this for classes, but we can progress in the future is almost using this just for anything. Anything you want to group together with, surfing, skydiving, I don't know, anything like that, connecting people that way. So we've got the foundations down, so we'll see where it goes.
What was the hardest part about making this app?
I think it was hard, actually, for me, it was working with this many people. Working with 6 people, trying to coordinate what each of us had to work on. Because we had 2 main programmers that kind of knew their stuff really well, and then it took off really quickly, and the rest of us were kind of like trying to keep up. So definitely trying to coordinate everyone's, like each meeting, like coordinate what we're going to work on for the next week, and then dividing up amongst each other.
We definitely felt like we needed to use this app to schedule our meeting times, so that's one of the reasons why we made it.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Hey, one last question. When is it available?
When is it available?
Yeah, when will it be available?
Hopefully by the end of the semester. That's what we're planning on.
So my name is Kyle Jensen. I'm just my group can be here today, so I'm going to do myself. The name of the app that we're making is also an Android app. It's called City Watch. What is it? We're trying to make a way for people to communicate with their local governments easier than doing an internet search and trying to figure out the right department they need to contact and getting the right number or email or whatever. We want to make it easier by giving everyone the power to do that with the devices right in their pocket. Like they could, but we want to make it even easier. And once you have like a location of where you are and what your problem is, it'll figure out who you need to contact on its own. This is for things like reporting graffiti and potholes, traffic issues, anything that's like quality of life, public service problem issue. This is important because local governments in general are sort of underfunded and they have a lot to deal with and don't necessarily prioritize things that not that many people are talking about or are complaining about, so the squeaky wheel ends up getting the oil, right? And we wanted to give anyone a chance to have their voice heard, whereas before they just might not have bothered. Again, having the ability to do that right in your pocket is pretty crucial to the functionality of this app. How it works is you put in your location right now, where the scope is limited to Aurora Park and Victoria and Santa Rosa. Select an issue and it brings up the information of who you want to contact who you might not have known who that even was before. And then you can either place a call through your phone or place an email through your phone, because both of those things are already built in. You don't have to go and get another device. We also wanted to add some stuff in there to sort of plant the idea in people's minds that they can use it for good things and not just for complaining. So we have a button called Give Kudos that will, it does pretty much does the same thing. It lets you know who you need to contact, but the purpose is to give compliments rather than complaints. Or we also have a volunteer button so that people can contact the department that maybe they want to help out with to make it better on their own. This is essentially the same function, but having the text on those buttons maybe would give people the idea to do something they wouldn't have otherwise done. So I'm going to demonstrate what we have so far. This projector is a lot higher resolution than the one in So we've got these buttons here. They do pretty much the same thing. This one will just print out all of the listings for the area that you're in. But we want to report an issue. And say we want to, we're in Kentucky, and maybe we see a big pothole that's in front of our house that hasn't been taken care of because nobody knows about it. We can hit that issue, pull in the information, and from here you can place a call or send an email. And we have a pre-formatted email that goes out that you can add comments to. And that's the state of the app currently. Any questions? I'll go kind of fast.
Same question with David. What was the hardest thing?
The hardest thing was making an Android app with limited experience. I even had Android experience before, but when I learned it back in the gingerbread days, and things changed a lot. And so just learning about how to do a whole new platform from scratch is an interesting process.
What do you think you'll have to add or change about the app in order to take this to, say, Santa Rosa and get official support for it?
We have to get the database to be comprehensive, which hopefully they could work with us to do that, if they were willing to cooperate. And from there on, I don't really see it being necessarily such a local thing, but as adding in more scope and getting more cities on board and stuff like that in the future possible.
As a selling point to the local governments, you may point out to them, like I reported a piece of road that was sort of caving away up on Presley Road, and pointed out to them that it was a lot cheaper to repair it than wait until it washed away in the rains. And they were very, thankful to me for doing that.
It's definitely a use case.
Yeah, that was, I wanted to follow up on that, is the risk factor, is have you approach cities with risk mitigation, saying, look, we're gonna help you mitigate your risk, just help us with the database, because you could get the database without their help, right?
Yeah, we've been just scraping it from their websites so far this semester. Which it turns out it's a bit more of a complicated process than it seems like it should be. And that's the whole usefulness of the app, is because it's inherently a complicated system to navigate.
So coming from the corporate world, I would say, go to the risk managers with your app, because I got a fun feeling they'll be more interested in it than the politicians.
Yeah.
Do the cities have the opportunity or the ability to post volunteer opportunities to the app?
Not at this point. The point of the app is to promote communication primarily. We don't have any guarantees that they're going to respond in the way that we want them to, but nothing's going to happen with no dialogue. So.
Okay, well, thank you.
So we are the agency. My name is David Fisher.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the team leader.
I'm Alvin. I'm the Scrum Master. I'm Brad. I'm the sprint organizer.
I'm Lawrence, I'm the treasurer.
Cool. Oh, wait. It's not my second line, right? Alright, so a little bit about why we wanted to do what we're doing. The goal of our app sort of was to bring people to visit new places in the world just using an app. We wanted to bridge the gap between traveling and traveling in a virtual world. And we also wanted people to discover a little bit about geocaching, so I don't know if you guys know what geocaching is, but we took a lot of inspiration from that for our app. And we also wanted it to be a social thing. So you could have fun sort of playing this little game, but also be social with your friends. So a little overview. Our app is focused on location-based messaging, so you leave messages for either everybody or just your friends in a location, and if they want to see that message, they have to go to that location to see it. Similar to geocaching, where there's physical objects placed around the world and you have to go find them, there's digital objects placed around the world and you have to go find them. We wanted it to be social networking and that you could have fun while talking to your friends and also playing this game. And we also wanted you to be able to share a bunch of different media types, whether that be photo, text, audio, video, etc. And quote unquote digital geocaching, like I said, we took our inspiration from that. So, Amin, do you want to talk a little bit about what Parse is?
Yeah, so I mean, we used the same backend as the Todd Hops app. Basically, what we're doing with Parse is using that to give us an environment where we can easily create custom functions in the cloud and not have to manage our own cloud servers to do that. It gives us a quick way to do querying and building up of databases. Most of what we're using the Parse backend for right now is for really offloading as much functionality from the client onto the server, so that we have more responsiveness on the client. It's not doing as much work. It's not pulling down as much data. So we're trying to make the use of the client as smooth as possible, and to do that, we're trying to leverage the power of the servers that we have at our disposal to help speed things up.
Alright, so this is a typical screen of what you're going to see in our app. You see a map, and there are these small icons, which are envelopes, and they are our drops. And we have a friends list set up. Achievements is going to be set up soon. Voting system, so you can upvote or downvote a certain drop. We can report to remove bad drops or things that are inappropriate. And in the future, when we have a user base, we're going to include moderators. And it won't just be us. If we have a large enough user base, we can have users become moderators. And the way we're going to monetize this app is to have premium drops. So a company who has Happy Hour Tuesdays can post right on the bar saying, "Oh, our beer is so much cheaper right here," and people are going to go to it, view it, and be like, "Oh, I'm right next to a bar. It's got cheap beer. Perfect."
Just like that.
Just like that. The way we did it, we're using Google Maps, and we have the ability to switch from this hybrid view, which has got the satellite image and the normal view.
And the sort of benefit of having both of those is that it allows you to have sort of multiple use cases, in that if you are in a built-out urban environment, it really doesn't make as much sense to have a lot of the visual clutter of what's going on with the terrain and everything. It's easier to navigate by streets and street names, place names. But we also really are interested in getting people out into new places that may not be as built up, and having the terrain view map also helps sort of get people comfortable in that environment too. So we're trying to target both use cases of that.
So one big thing that we wanted to focus on was rewards in the game, something that makes the game feel like you're sort of competing with your friends or competing with other people. Makes it fun, makes it feel like a little bit of competition. So if you noticed on the previous screen, some of the icons were red and some of the icons were gold. So with the upvoting and downvoting system, we want the ones that get upvoted the most to have something special indicated on the map. So that's the way we're doing it right now. You have a gold one if you've gotten a certain number of votes. And if you get a certain number of downvotes, your thing will eventually be removed. So I'm hoping that way we kind of focus on high quality content. And if you place a bunch of things around the world that people like a lot, then you would be placed high on the leaderboards. So with that, that's like most of the game aspect of it. We want it to be fun and competitive.
Yeah, so with that,
also take this in a way where you can create like a game within your friends. So we have the option to only share drops with your friends here. So you can leave private messages for them. You can say, hey, go to my house later, we'll do something. And that way, we want people to stay close with their friends this way. That's how we become so.
Yeah, one cool thing that you could do with friends is create some sort of like scavenger hunt thing. At least that would be awesome. Somebody should do it. So.
Yeah, and because we're developing for iOS, we also have to satisfy Apple in some kind, so we have a reporting system so that there's no nudity or something in there. Yeah, might also be good.
Yeah, good call. I think that's the presentation. So we'll show you guys a little bit what it looks like. I mean, you did see screenshots of it.
And our name is called up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you know when you see it in the iOS App Store, you'll know to download it because it's going to be high quality. So.
Okay, so right now I have my location set to right above Sonoma State, if you zoom out, you can see basically everything that's around. So we have a bunch of stuff in San Francisco, and as you can see, those ones are the uploaded ones. And I think we even have stuff around the world. I'm not really sure. Yeah, really good. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So you can kind of see what everybody's doing around New Zealand. Yeah, so if I were to click on one, let's go to San Francisco. So like here's a gold one. So that means that somebody has uploaded it a lot. And you can see who dropped it. I dropped this one, so it's right there. And that's the uploading and downloading. We really want to focus on highlighting quality content. Since this is mine, I could delete it if I want to. I'm not going to. And there's, here's my friends list. If I want to add a new friend, or somebody I haven't had. Sweet. Now examples. Cool. And then so if I were to go create a drop somewhere, it'll use my current location, and I could choose to only share it with friends. And I could choose to either take a picture, which I can't do right now because the emulator doesn't have a camera, or I could use an existing one. And I don't know if I still find it up. So you could, take one right there, or you could choose one that you want to click in. And with text, you could write, "Oh no." Oh, I know why. So I changed something right before this, and I broke it. But if you make one with text, you can put like links in it, and then it'll open it up in there, and you can go to like some website, you can play a YouTube video or whatever. Yeah, that's basically it.
You want to go to Hagrid?
We're in Sonoma County, we have lots of green.
Right above Sonoma State right now.
You guys have any questions or?
So what are some of the achievements you were talking about earlier?
So
Yeah,
some of the
so-
achievements, we were thinking about having like all kinds of location-based achievements. So like make a drop in 2 countries, make a drop in 2 states, make a drop at least 50 miles away from another drop, make a drop in international waters. But there are other ones too, like upload mini drops or view all error messages or cancel a drop or something.
Yeah.
So there's lots of ways we can get people to use our app more with achievements.
We also want to drop our own things before we release it that are like kind of special ones. So if you go find those special ones, then we'll, like you found our X, Y, and Z one, you get an achievement for that. And we'll put them in really obscure places.
Just a comment as a colorblind person, you mentioned the 2 folders or envelopes that were distinguished by
Oh, I didn't
2
think
different
that.
colors. Everybody, there are websites where you can find colors, colorblind safe colors. And I can tell the difference between red and gold. But,
Oh, okay, cool.
but if it were
That's
red and green, I would be in big trouble.
Yeah, good. That's a good observation. I didn't even think of that, so we'll keep that in mind. maybe some questions. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There is enough, I think, for once more people. No, you can make a beeline right now, I think.
Yes, sir.
Anybody's have any questions?
So we will have another gathering next week, the same time. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now. Can't come back here next week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we will have at least one person to share his or her experience, internship experience with you. We have awards, we have recognitions. Please come. Please come. We do want to see a crowd, and specifically, we want you to know that at the end of the semester, before you graduate, we consider you for graduation with distinction. And you will see some who will graduate with distinction 2 weeks from now, and will be awarded that distinction. And it's good for you to know why they received it, so that you work towards that end. So please come and congratulate them and come here. We'll have room, not necessarily a cheese, I don't think it's going away, but we will